Hey, good morning or good afternoon. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes for some more people to trickle in, and then we'll get started shortly. All right. In the interest of time, I think we'll get started, and people will just continue to join in as they come. So I'm really glad you are all here today for this very awesome webinar. We've been looking forward to this one. This is a webinar on ETQ's professional services with two esteemed guest speakers. So I just wanted to kick things off very quickly with the agenda and some presenter intros, just to familiarize everyone with whose voices you'll be hearing today. So kicking it off with a quick agenda, this is step one, just housekeeping and meeting your presenters. From here, we will get into a introduction to ETQ professional services, so more of just a kind of general overview about who we are and why it is that we do what we do. And then from there, we'll get into the actual catalog, which is where I will cover some different ETQ services that you may or may not have heard of already. And then we will get into the highlight of today, which is our customer stories. And so for this, we have a representative from Straumann Group and from Medline. And then from there, we will get into live Q&A where you can ask us questions about the services. You can ask our guest speakers questions about their experience. And if there are any questions that we don't get to today, we will have a log of all of the questions that were asked and who asked them. And so if you are an ETQ customer, your account rep will reach out to you and follow up. And if not, then we will get in touch with you and make sure your questions are answered. So here we are. You can see me in the top right corner. My name is Ahmed Al Ashkar. I'm a service sales consultant here at ETQ. I've been here for just under 3 years in this role. And to my left, you will see my manager. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carrie McDonough. I'm the Director of Service Sales with ETQ, and I've been here for 26 years, always within our professional services organization and helping our customers to understand, what the best roadmap for deployment is and how ETQ can be a partner in your success.
Amazing. Thank you, Carrie. Maybe Monique, if you would like to quickly introduce yourself.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Monique Payal. I am a quality management digital transformation lead at Straumann Group, and I'm based in Basel, where our headquarters is.
Awesome. Thank you. And finally, Diana.
Hi, I'm Diana Drain. I'm a business systems analyst for Medline in quality department. Been here 5+years, and mostly remote, so southern part of Wisconsin.
Awesome. Yes, I am a fellow Midwesterner myself. All right, so we will get a quick feeler with this very first poll. So if you could please launch that, Liz. All right, so the poll asks, which of the following ETQ professional services are you most familiar with? And your options are remote consulting or managed services, which we are now calling Quality 360, or project-based services, or maybe you're not familiar with our services yet. So we have about 75, over 80% of the votes in already. Give it another few seconds. All right, so here are our results. Overwhelmingly, folks have heard of remote consulting. It is a very, very, very popular service that we'll touch on a little bit later, but we interestingly have a good amount of folks who have not heard of ETQ services yet and are not familiar with them. And so that is a great reason to be here today. We're going to cover all of them. Awesome. So let's move on with a quick professional services overview. And I will hand it over to Carrie.
Perfect. All right. So as we look ahead and start to think about setting your organization up for success, it's important that we kind of take a step back and ask a few questions. First of all, what are the processes that you're planning to implement? What are the key business pains or business objectives that you're trying to address with the system? What internal resources are you going to have available to support this plan and your deployment? Do you have a large team? Will you have different owners spread out again across different sites within your organization? What does that team look like that's going to support your deployment? And what's the timeline that you're looking at for completing each of these stages of your deployment, and what's driving that timeline? Is there some type of compelling event, some type of deadline that you need to meet for compliance, or is this more just continual improvement of your business processes? We encourage you to evaluate your quality journey through this lens of scope, time, and cost. And whether you're planning right now for just what you're going to do over the next year, or you're looking at, kind of over the next 3 to 5 years, how are we transforming our organization? It's also important to understand what the business risks are of not delivering on that plan. And that's, kind of just as important as the plan itself. This is where ETQ Professional Services can really help you by aligning our expertise with your goals, no matter where you are at this point in your journey. I'm gonna switch slides. And one of the things that really sets ETQ apart is our flexibility in services. We understand that every organization is different and that your needs are going to evolve over time. This is why we offer services to meet any need, whether it's strategic guidance and roadmap planning, or more basic day-to-day administration, ongoing validation, compliance for life science companies. Whether you're just starting your journey or you're looking to expand your QMS footprint, we're really here to support you. We also offer services that are, oh, you skipped ahead on me a little bit.
Sorry about that. That was an accident.
That's okay. For any duration of time. So whether you have a short-term need and just need immediate assistance, or you're needing more long-term support within your deployment team. When we talk about kind of looking back at the scope, time, and cost, and who you have to support the project or your deployment, we have these resources available by the hour, by the month, by the year. And we can work with you to align to your budget, whether it's something that's an annual recurring subscription, individual time blocks, or combinations of various service plans. The goal really is to keep your momentum going and ensure that your QMS program continues to deliver value as your business grows. Now you can change. Thank you. And at ETQ, we feel that we do offer an exceptional service partnership. At the heart of our services is a commitment to our partnership with our customers, and we're proud to say that our customers really notice that this is a priority for us. We consistently hear feedback from our customers about what a great and supportive team we have, and how our consultants have the ability to understand customer requirements and translate them into effective system designs. These are, testimonials from our customers that really reflect our core values. We're trusted with the most experienced team in QMS. We bring expertise with certified consultants and project managers. We're efficient with our ability to deliver remote services that meet all of our clients' needs. And we're global with over 100 partners worldwide. And I think most importantly, we're proven. ETQ was founded in quality. This is where we've always been. And we've been refining our best practices for quality over the past 30 years. I think really at the end of the day, it just comes down to your success is our success, and we really want to be a strong partner to help you meet your goals.
All right, getting into the second poll question. When you think about your own organization's quality journey, what area do you need the most support in? So think about what challenges you have currently at your organization. Where do you think you need the most support? So your options are day-to-day administration of Reliance, complex configurations and enhancements, strategic planning and optimization, end user training and adoption, or unsure/exploring options. We have about 50% of the votes in, a little bit more than 50%. Give it another 5-10 seconds or so. All right, let's see those results. Okay, so as you can see, the majority are looking for support with complex configurations and enhancements. Luckily, there are plenty of ETQ services that would fit that bill. Second place is day-to-day administration of Reliance. We also have a service that would be perfect for that. So whatever your needs are, we will definitely be covering that in this next section. All right, let's move on. Okay, so before we get to listening to our awesome guest speakers, I first wanted to show you guys just a quick sampling of our ETQ professional services catalog. And I also wanted to highlight something that Carrie mentioned. Our goal here is to help you achieve your corporate quality objectives. And we do that by providing these flexible service options that are meant to meet you where you are in your journey. So I think that's very important. Obviously, different organizations are in different places. And so wherever you are in your journey, we will meet you there. And the way we view professional services is very simple, very straightforward. We don't see ourselves as exclusively being a vendor, but instead we like to see ourselves as an extension of your own quality team, of your quality organization. So whether you're trying to accelerate a implementation, or you want to maintain compliance and continuous improvement, or you just want to free up some of your internal resources, that's where our team will step in to fill in those gaps. We're prepared to scale with you, and we will always be able to provide you expertise to help you hit your goals faster and hopefully with fewer roadblocks as well. So all of these services that you see on the screen right now are designed with one thing in mind, and that's to help drive your entire life cycle of your QMS. So the idea with this is that no matter where you are, whether you need a one-time boost or you're looking for more of an ongoing partnership, we have a service model that would fit. And so here's how we break down these two categories. On the top, you see managed services, which are subscriptions, and at the bottom, you see one-time services. So managed services, starting with that, we are calling it our Quality 360 subscriptions. This is where you see more of a long-term partnership kind of model. Instead of reaching out to us for support on a case-by-case basis, You have ongoing access to ETQ experts who act as team members. So they really feel like an extension of your team, someone who you meet with regularly, and so on. They provide you continuity, predictability, and proactive support so that your system can continue to evolve without any disruptions or roadblocks. And so you can see there's a technical account manager, that's TAM 360. There's Config 360. So this is catered to customers who have a lot of configuration requests, a need for custom configurations and builds. That's Config 360. You have Val 360, which is for life sciences customers who need to continuously be validated, and Admin 360 for day-to-day help with systems administration. And then if you look at the bottom, you see three what we call one-time services. So these are project-based or ad hoc kinds of engagements, such as remote consulting. You have dedicated resource. You have a project team. These are great options when you are looking for more of targeted help. So it's not a long-term partnership, it's more targeted. For example, if you're tackling a specific custom configuration, or you want to get a quick expert review, or you want to handle some kind of short-term project, these are going to give you the flexibility and the fast access to the expertise without having to commit to something long-term, like with a subscription. And the beauty here is that these two models are not mutually exclusive. We have a lot of customers who use both. For example, they purchase blocks of remote consulting hours while at the same time having a technical account manager to handle more of the strategy and solution architecture and roadmap planning and that sort of thing, while also using remote consulting for quick one-off engagements, promotions, testing, that sort of thing. So customers will lean in for one-time services for unique projects, and then rely on the ones above, the managed services, for stability and continuous improvement. So it's really about giving you flexibility. I think that's the point of it, and meeting you wherever you are. All right, and as you can see, just to double click a little bit into the Quality 360 managed service subscriptions, as you see them right here, this is where we see customers getting the greatest long-term value, which has been, proven by, case studies, and as you will hear very shortly here on this webinar as well from customers who are currently leveraging some of these services right here. With Quality 360, the focus is on, again, continuity, scalability, and proactive support. So think of it as having dedicated experts on call, not just for quick issue resolution, not just to fix things, but to help you plan, configure, optimize, and expand your usage of Reliance for the future and grow with your business goals as well. And the best part of it is that these managed services are all renewable subscriptions, which makes things a lot easier for a lot of our customers, especially when it comes to procurement and just worrying about having one PO. They're going to ensure continuity of resources and coverage without interruption and having to go back and get new signatures and all that kind of thing. Everything is going to align. It can align with your annual license renewal just to make things easier. And then all you have to worry about is a single PO and easier procurement. And we also offer multi-year incentives for those who are considering a longer term roadmap, and they have multiple phases, and they have exact plans for the next 1, 3, 5 years, like Carrie mentioned. These are renewable, and so they can also align with that, and we can incentivize it. So that's my overview. I have one more poll question to ask before we get to our guest speakers. So if we can launch this final poll. Which of the ETQ service models that I just covered do you see providing the greatest long-term value for your organization? One-time engagements like remote consulting, dedicated resource, or one-off projects, the Quality 360 managed service subscriptions, Admin 360, Config, TAM, Val, a combination of both, or you're not sure yet? Give it another 10 seconds or so, or about 70% of the votes. All right, so here are the results. The majority are not sure yet, so maybe still considering options, thinking about what your corporate objectives are and how you will get there. We have plenty of people interested in a combo of both. I personally think this is the best route because this allows you to cover all of your bases, and sometimes you don't need a long-term commitment for certain aspects, but other times you do. And then equally split between managed services and one-time engagements. All right, great. So now the part you have all been waiting for. We are going to get into the heart of this conversation by listening to our customer stories. So I will hand it over to Monique from Straumann to give a quick intro and then speak on their experience of leveraging ETQ services. Monique, please just cue me to get to the next slide.
All right. Thank you, Ahmed. You
You're
can go
most
ahead,
welcome.
please. All right. So hi, everyone. As Ahmed mentioned, I work for Straumann Group as a QM digital transformation lead. You can go to the next slide, please. So I'm very excited to be here sharing with you a little bit of our experience with ETQ services. I would just start by showing you a little bit about Straumann and our journey so far with ETQ, and then I'm going to talk about our experiences with services. So Straumann is a medical devices company. So we have 3 different business units. Dental implant systems is the biggest one. Then we have also orthodontics with clear aligners and digital solutions such as intraoral scanners and printers, and also the softwares that can come with them. We on the right hand side, you can see this map. It's pretty much where we are all over the world with our subsidiaries. We have about 18 production sites, and then our headquarters is based here in Basel. We currently have more than 12,000 employees working all over the world. You can go to the next slide, please. So now I'm going to guide you through our journey. So you can go through the next slide. So why we started. Basically, we had this challenge. We grew over time and we acquired several companies, and we did not have quality, or our quality processes were not harmonized. So we had fragmented processes, and we were using several different tools across all these companies, and lots of paper-based processes. As you can see on this snapshot or screenshot on the left-hand side, on the rows, you see the processes, and the columns are showing the different companies. Not all the companies are mentioned there, but this gives you an idea on how complex, let's say, our quality environment, let's say, was, considering all these different tools. There were more than 10 tools being used. And then our goal, if you can click to the next, thank you. So our goal was to harmonize the processes, so having all the group companies using the same system in the same way. And that was then on the right hand side, the target. It looks much more beautiful and organized, having just one single tool. And that's why we started this initiative. And then if you go to the next slide. So how we started in August 2022. We did assessment of several software providers, when finally in February 23, we chose ETQ to be our EQMS tool. And we started implementation of 2 modules at the same time, so doc control and training management, in April 2023. And 1 year later, exactly, we had our first go live. So it was end of March 2024. So during this time, so 1 year, we had a project. So we were using basically the project hours. That's part of the package we bought with ETQ. And you can see here a screenshot of our roadmap. And I just wanted to highlight. So we started with a process harmonizing the process across all the companies. Then the project with ETQ, with requirements gathering, system design, and validation, and so on and so forth. So then finally we had the system implemented in March 2024, and it's then when we started using the ETQ services, because the project was over, let's say, this first part of the implementation of our roadmap. You can go to the next slide, please. Yeah, so what we have achieved so far, as I mentioned, we fully implemented the document management and training management modules. So at first, as we have several sites, we have a phased approach. So we went live first with one of the companies to see how it was going to work, and then we went live with the remaining companies. So at this moment, we have all the companies using document management and training management modules. We also have so far achieved, so we integrated 5 other systems with ETQ, which is really nice. So the tool really offers this, let's say it's easy to create this integration with other systems, and this can make our processes much more efficient. And NC Kappa SCAR modules also deployed in 8 sites, and 8 of our sites. We are still in the process of rolling out to the other sites. And the change management module is also fully configured and validated, and we are on the way to implement it in the first site in December. So that's everything we have achieved so far since we started with ETQ. And now looking forward, yep, you can go to the next one. This is our, let's just also a snapshot of our roadmap. So it shows everything which is in gray is what we still have to implement. So that's going to take some time for us to get there, but we're very happy with what we have achieved so far. So everything that is in green, especially considering we have such a complex setup with lots of different companies and locations. So now what we want to do is to implement the next modules, so focus on the implementation of the next modules, but also strengthen the user adoption. So for us, it's very important that the users are happy with the system, especially documents and training, which is, let's say, the modules that are reaching the majority of our users. And the other modules are more quality specific, but documents and training is really used by the whole company. So we really want to make sure the users are satisfied. Also, we want to explore automation, and that's something we have also been doing with ETQ services, and continuous improvement based on user feedback. I will also mention that when I'm talking about the services. So yeah, there's still a lot to be done in our digital transformation journey. Now talking a little bit about how we are using ETQ services and support. So we, as I mentioned, right after the go live, which was in March 2024, we started using RC hours. So basically we had the need to had some things fixed or some little improvements implemented, and also the implementation of new modules, configuration of new modules. And we were buying RC hours for that. The main reason is that it wasn't very clear for us. So it was still the beginning of our journey, and it wasn't so clear what the organizational setup would be. So we were kind of defining whether it was going to be an IT responsibility or a Q, or the responsibility will be fully in the QM department. And after a few months of discussion, and then in the meantime, we were using the RC hours, we have finally decided to take full responsibility in the QM department. So in terms of system administration and system support. And for that to happen, it was also something that we said, okay, we need to have somebody from ETQ to support us. We cannot absorb this internally. And that's when we shifted from the RC hours to something more sustainable in our view, which is this managed services. So we're calling it annual service subscription. We had decided to have these two packages combined, so on-demand administration and configuration support, to meet our needs of implementing enhancements, but also doing some more administrative tasks. On the right side, you can see how we structured here at Straumann what is the organization set up. So in my team, I have a project assistant to support me with mostly the change management part and the project tasks for the rollouts. I have a QMS specialist who is supporting me also with user support and trainings, and the ETQ consultant, which is actually, so we bought this package of 80 hours per month, but honestly, having somebody as knowledgeable as this person who was assigned to us, to our account, is better than having one full-time employee. So we are very happy with this 80 hours. And actually, we are even thinking, because we're expanding and adding more and more modules, we're looking to increasing these hours for next year. So that's our current setup and how we got there. And then here I bring a little bit of from my perspective, difference. So the main pain points that I had when we were using RC hours and the difference from when we shipped to annual service contract. So basically with the RC hours, we had to open every time purchase orders. So we had to kind of predict how many hours we were going to need and open purchase orders. And very often, sometimes I had to open even more than once per more than one order per month, and that's just administrative work that I don't have to do anymore when we have this single contract. Also, in terms of availability of the consultants, so it wasn't that easy because also of our timelines changing so often to make sure that we're going to have somebody to support us when we need it. So that's something that now we do have X amount of hours per week dedicated for us, and we know we can use those and even balance if we don't use in this week, we can use a bit more in the next weekend and so on. And the whole thing with onboarding the consultants and changing the consultants and having to repeat everything about our processes every time there was somebody different, because obviously they didn't have any obligations of remembering how our processes worked. So that was always a bit painful to kind of go through this process again and again. And now we have one person who is dedicated and knows about our processes, is fully onboarded also into our systems, our internal system, ticketing system and network and everything. So it makes life much easier. And also the support channels. So before with RC hours, we buy the hours for a specific purpose of implementing enhancements, for example, but whenever we had issues, we had to go through the ETQ support channel. And now with this service, I actually only have this consultant as a contact point, and this person is in charge of opening tickets if needed to ETQ. So I have only one channel, and that's also the best thing. It saves a lot of time for me and my team. All right, you can go to the next slide. And so why we recommend it? We really feel like a partnership since we got this resource, this consultant on board. They really understand our needs because they know our processes. So that's really like having another team member internally, but just not working for Straumann. Improved efficiency, consistency, and speed. So we are definitely much faster in everything we deliver because of this service. Better planning and prioritization of activities. So as I mentioned before, now we know exactly how many hours we have per week, and we can balance it out when we don't use everything in 1 week and we need to use a bit more in the following week. So that's very, very flexible. And I have more time to work on strategic planning. And I don't need to be focusing on this other activities that were fully delegated to the consultant. Good. And then you can go to the next slide, which is my last one. I just wanted to bring to you some figures or some numbers to show you how everything we have achieved since April. So it's only 5 months since we've started using the service, and we've seen so many things have gotten better at Straumann because of this. So I've implemented more than 100 enhancements in dog control and training management so far since April. Here I'm talking about small enhancements like a change in the view, but also complex enhancements like creation of a task profile to automatize the process. The consultant has resolved more than 90 internal tickets, executed operational qualification for 3 modules. So that's the validation part, documentation updates, so the FCS, and some other documents for 3 modules. Final configurations were delivered for these 2 modules, and C and Kappa, because we had already started before. That's why it's just the final configurations, and also for change management. And this is not everything that the consultant has done. There's many more things and many more things we were able to really resolve within this time period, thanks to this service that we bought from ETQ. So yeah, in general, we are very, very happy with this service. It was really the best decision I think we have taken this year. And yeah, that's pretty much it from my side. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Monique. I did have, before we move on to Diana and Medline, and in the interest of time, I'm not going to ask too many questions, but my main question is, can you quickly maybe just list out some of the tasks that are now being handled, for example, by the admin from, Admin 360, on-demand admin, things that would have been handled internally before that are administrator related that are now being handled, and same thing for config 360. What sort of enhancements and configuration requests are you asking them to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the administration side, it's most of the things are tickets. So most of the time they have to, the consultant helps us out with tickets. So the consultant has full access to our network. So then they go there and they resolve the tickets. So the interface with the user. Also, as I mentioned before, so contacting the ETQ support directly whenever they can't resolve something. So they know exactly who they need to contact internally, and that speeds up the process so much. So whenever we have things to be fixed, that's done really, really quickly because we have somebody internally who knows exactly, who will be able to support them. And also the escalation. So on the admin side, this person is also helping us doing escalations whenever it's needed. Yeah, as I mentioned, whenever we need, everything is resolved very quickly.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, so on the config side, I think I missed this part. Sorry, Ahmad. On the config side, then it's enhancement. So this is a really big part. As I mentioned to you, one of our goals is to make sure that the users are happy with the system, and for that we really need to take into account their feedback. So we have this loop, feedback loop. We receive their feedback. We have to assess all the changes that are being requested, and the consultants support us with checking if it's actually feasible or not, and if it makes sense or not. And then we implement the changes. The consultant supports with the documents updates, the validation, and so that's part of, let's say, more the user feedback and continuous improvement, but also the configuration of new modules. So everything is actually, we're running everything in parallel. We have enhancements from the modules that are live, and we're at the same time implementing new modules. So everything is being done by the consultant.
That's amazing. Just that level of granularity, their involvement at that level with your team, I think is really, really cool. As requests come in from end users, they're able to implement those changes based on feasibility and priority. So I think that's very cool. It really does show that they're like a part of your team and involved in your decision making and stuff.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Okay, thank you so much again. Let's move on to hearing from Diana at Medline. Diana, are you with us?
I am. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yes. So Excellent. So as shared before, I'm Diana Drain, Business Systems Analyst with Medline, and took over as a product owner this year. Today we'll share a little bit about what Medline does, who we are, where we're at with our journey in ETQ, and how our TAM engagement is going. So Medline's story. At Medline, we make and distribute essential medical products. We're driven by a commitment to our customers, partnering to ensure they have exactly what they need every order, every time. That's how we make healthcare run better. That is the foundation. That's our story. Our values have recently been refreshed. It's really how Medline operates, how we work together, how we continue to grow. So some of them I really like. My favorite is we are gritty problem solvers. You know, it's we're relentless, customer focused, drive to succeed, believe relationships matter. Our relationship with ETQ matters. We practice purposeful candor, demonstrate agility, flexibility. And you have to when you have as many modules as we do and as many products as we do. So if you can go to the next one. So we have Medline brand that offers a broad portfolio. There's over 190,000 high quality products. There's frontline care, surgical solutions, laboratory and diagnostics. And we're the market leader across multiple products. Additionally, there's about 145,000 third-party products. So that with our supply chain infrastructure, Medline continues to grow year over year. As we acquire different companies, different features, we continue to grow and offer more and more. So our QMS system needs to also be able to grow and expand and be configured to meet their needs. So if you can go to the next one. So we have been working with ETQ using Reliance for over 11 years. I've only been here for 5, so it was already established and set up before I got there, which is kind of nice. We are a life sciences customer. We started off small and have grown, so now our end users currently have access to 15 modules. This does not count the administration center, the Reliance engine, or the archive modules. So we have a lot of modules. And since I've joined, 5 of those were new. We are currently working on a 6th and have plans for a couple more. Some are out of the box, some are custom modules, and we are fully validated. In addition to the validation that ETQ does, we have a team that then validates all of our requirements for every module. So sometimes it takes longer for us to implement these changes, but we have grown. So now we have over 17,000 active users around the globe. How did we do it? We have a very mature, dedicated Scrum team that works on the Reliance application. They make configuration updates, they do functional testing, deployments, located in India and the US. We try to be self-sufficient, but we do need to make support cases. We do need to make service cases. When I was looking in the community last week, since March of 2018, maybe that's when community started, we had 524 closed support cases and 45 closed service cases. So we're very familiar with asking for help, reaching out for those one-time projects. Our largest, most complicated update required about 3 years of collaboration. We met internally, we met with ETQ professional services, and we moved from 2016 F2 on-prem to 2020 B.1 in the cloud. So we had a lift and shift and enhancements and new modules. It was a transformation that was completed in first quarter 2023. Since then, we have patched up to current generation version 2024A. We're trying to stay more current because jumping 30 patches is painful and it takes a long time, and it's easier to stay more current. So for years, especially after that major transformation, we talked about having a dedicated level 3 resource that our team could reach out to if we were stuck, if we needed assistance, someone that could quickly answer our question without us opening a support case and waiting, hoping that every email update was an answer or if the case had been escalated. Go to the next one. So when the managed services subscriptions were introduced to us, our internal team weighed the pros and cons to determine what would be a good fit for us and settled on the TAM service. I admit I was hesitant because our internal team is so capable. I wasn't sure exactly what they were going to do. But then I met our TAM, and it has been a wonderful experience. I love working with him. He's knowledgeable. He asks good questions, good follow-ups. He advocates for us. Now, I won't tell you his name because I don't want anyone to try and take him. But since April, we've been meeting on a weekly basis, sometimes more. He's set up in our lower environment so he can get to know our specific configurations. And this has been really helpful because he can look into features that are currently available we weren't aware of and we hadn't used yet, or when we have questions about, does Reliance have this capability? He can look and he can tell us quickly. Listed on the slide are a few things he has done for us so far. I don't have any measured concrete KPIs yet, and I'm sure we will, but the knowledge he shared has spared us many headaches. We're able to plan which patch releases should be grouped together so we don't introduce new bugs. He's gone through and shared what the impact of releasing these patches would be for us because of our specific configurations. Shared best practices that helps our internal team grow and learn. And sometimes we ask questions and he's learning more things too, looking into things, researching. Big thing has been following up on open cases. So definitely improved response time we get for cases and helping drive those to resolution. And another big thing that we're starting to work on is conversations about the transition from CG to NXG. And having those conversations now allows us to be more proactive than reactive, which we tend to be. So that's huge that we've been able to make that shift and start planning ahead and figuring out what will we need to do before it's, okay, we have to go now. NXG, has a date. So we can try to prepare and plan and make those updates. But the future state is TBD. There's so many opportunities. Right now, we're just going through so fast, trying to make updates to meet our customers' needs in all of the modules, trying to respond to an ever-changing market environment. And I really like that our TAM's there to support us and help us and make sure that we don't make a move that's not in our best interests. So it's a great experience and I'd recommend it if it's right for you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. I do have a couple follow-up questions for you. Since we're on the topic of what your TAM is currently doing, have you had a chance or considered measuring any sorts of concrete KPIs for your TAM, around maybe like time saved or fewer incidents or a faster change turnaround?
Yes, thought about it, but just have not had an opportunity yet. So we engaged mid-April and it's been, time has flown. I can't believe it's been that long already. So yes, that's definitely on the to-do list.
Okay, great. And why would you say, I know you mentioned that you are capable internally, you were on the fence about a TAM in general until you met your TAM, who I will also not mention. But why was the decision made to choose a TAM model over something that's more ad hoc, for example, like remote consulting, or even just hiring someone internally, an additional hire who can handle that sort of work?
I think we went with the TAMP because of all the experience and the wealth of information they bring with them and the connection to internal ETQ. Like we have
Yeah.
people we can reach out to, but they know exactly who they can reach out to, and they meet regularly with other TAMs, with the product owners, with level 3s, and having that insight is, I feel like I learn new things every time I talk to them.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is very, very cool. And then my last question that I noted down is, how do you expect this relationship with your TAM to evolve as Medline continues to grow, or maybe you shift priorities with the system? How do you anticipate that that will evolve?
Yeah, definitely. I think we have a small but mighty team, and we always need more help because there's so many requests and so many things to do and so many priorities. So I think
Yeah.
as we keep growing, I think there will be help, or I will need help with some release planning. I will need help with continuing those impact assessments, implementing new modules. Best practices are huge. Already looking at our change management module. We've not implemented it yet, but there were updates in NXG that he was able to help us incorporate into CG. And that's been really helpful too, because we're still on CG. So I think as much information as we can learn from him, I think we're definitely going to take advantage of, and we'll see. I'm not sure yet. Right now, I just want to get through the NXG transformation.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. All right. So my last poll question for everyone, and you can start dropping your questions in the chat right now, but last one is, hearing all of these customer stories, how likely are you to explore Quality 360 managed services given the information that you learned from our two guest speakers? Very likely, somewhat likely, not likely right now, or maybe you're already leveraging managed services. We have about half the votes in, a little bit more now. Give it another 10 seconds or so, and then we'll look at those results. And if you've already voted, feel free to drop questions if you have them in the chat. And here are our results, somewhat likely. So we managed to convince a few people of the value of these services. We have second place, not likely right now. Maybe you're just wondering what's out there and how this could help you with your goals. And then very likely and already leveraging managed services tied. Very, very interesting results. Awesome. Thank you all so much for your participation. I know there's a bunch of poll questions, but all of them were, I think, almost fully participated in. So getting to the end. So Q&A, I will give a couple minutes for people to drop some questions. I'm not seeing any right now. And remember, if you are already an ETQ customer, you can always reach out to your account rep or your PC or your customer success rep or anyone who's involved in your journey to ask them questions about any of these things or to get looped in with our team. All right, I'm not seeing any questions now. So you can always reach out with your questions individually. So on that note, thank you all so much for your participation, for showing up this morning or this afternoon, for listening to these awesome customer stories. We will be sharing this webinar, a recording of it, so you can always share internally. Again, reach out to us if you have any questions. And Carrie, did you have any last comments or anything, or are we all good to close out?
I don't think so. Just as Ahmed said, we're happy to have discussions with all of our customers about their plans and how we can partner and help you achieve your goals. So please reach out.
All right, thank you all. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.